Ladies and gentlemen, you may have heard about the Battle of the Bands. But what about the Battle of the Bags? Or to be more precise, the battle over bags. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm fairly certain you've seen these images that went viral yesterday. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who made her parliamentary debut this session, has turned heads with her bag, which had Palestine written on it in big, bold letters. There it is. It also carried an image of a watermelon, which is known to be a symbol for solidarity with Palestine. Now, the BJP had criticized this messaging as appeasement. So today, Priyanka Gandhi hit back through the same method, spotting today a tote bag not just bearing the word Bangladesh, but also pushing for justice for Hindus and Christians who have been at the receiving end of anti-minority attacks in the country. In fact, it wasn't just Priyanka. All opposition MPs today protested outside Parliament bearing those Justice for Bangladesh bags. But undeterred, the BJP continues to stick with its bag of appeasement charge, daring Priyanka Gandhi to walk the talk when it comes to standing up for Hindu interests. Now, for what is his worth, Priyanka Gandhi did speak about the attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh in Parliament yesterday and the need for India to intervene and stop it. She also hit back at the BJP, calling it typical patriarchy and emphasizing that she would wear exactly what she pleases and no one can tell her what she should do and shouldn't do. Question is, ladies and gentlemen, is this entire hangama over totes just a tamasha? Can key global issues that represent crises for Indian interests be reduced to symbolism over bags? Or is Priyanka Gandhi wearing her heart on her sleeves and saying, I don't care about what anyone thinks. I will do what I think is right. Let's debate that very question with my guest this evening, Jasmine Sandhawalia joining us, BJP spokesperson, Lavanya Ballal, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Neerja Chowdhury is a senior journalist. Thank you very much. And Dr. Uday back with us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see all of you here. Jasmine ji, I'm going to start with you. Point is, why are you criticizing Priyanka Gandhi for first carrying the Palestine bag and now the Bangladesh bag? Actually, the Palestine bag and the Bangladesh bag pretty much represent what India's stand has been on the two issues.
Shreya, first of all, since she has become the poster girl parliamentarian of the Congress, and everybody takes a very keen interest, she brings a lot of aplomb, and people are noticing her clothes, people are making comments on it, and she has every right when she says that she will wear what she wants to wear. That's a very good and a valid. As a woman, I support her on that. But she is a member of parliament, and she was carrying that bag, Palestine. You do not carry your foreign policies for the other nations to parliament. There are circles within circles when we operate as nations. She has to be astute enough and mature enough and not be frivolous and become a poster girl for the Congress and carry that bag. More maturity should have been shown when there was a backlash that what is she trying to do? Does she condone what happened to the Hindus and to the minorities in Bangladesh? Suddenly, the entire Congress came with these lovely bags with Bangladesh written on it. No, these are shenanigans. I think Parliament needs serious debate, and we need to make more. We have to be more mature. And like Margaret Thatcher had once said, that because she's a woman, everybody's interested in what color of the skirt she's wearing. So I think we should leave Priyanka Gandhi and her dress sense aside and debate really serious issues. I kind of press my case on that.
I'm asking you a simple question. The fact is, okay, but again, I will repeat my question. The fact is, what is India's official stand, say, on Palestine? India's official stand on Palestine is that there is a humanitarian crisis that is currently underway in Gaza. It has to stop. India has repeatedly now called for a ceasefire. Fact is, Jasmine ji, that 45,000 Palestinians have been killed in the last 14 months in Gaza. Fact also is that 17,000 of these 45,000 people killed have been children. So if an Indian parliamentarian is echoing essentially India's point of view and saying that there is a there is a crisis, a humanitarian crisis underway in Gaza, and that 17,000 children have been killed. इसमें बीजेपी को तो मिर्ची नहीं लगनी चाहिए, because she's saying exactly what the government of India officially is saying.
Shreya, you've answered your question yourself, that the stand of Indian government is that what is happening in Palestine is very tragic, is very unfortunate, and we condemn on humanitarian grounds that it is very, very sad that what is happening in Palestine. But you do not have to carry that bag to the parliament. She needs to be raising issues in India. She is not the foreign minister. She is not the proxy foreign minister of the Congress, and she needs to be. This is her first session. We expect better from her. Yes, she has every right to raise up the Palestine issue, and the government is supporting. The government supports that what is happening in Palestine is wrong, but I'm just bringing up to the immaturity of the young parliamentarian that she needs to be focusing more on Indian issues, and that is the reason. And also we raised up the issue that how come the minorities which are being subjugated in Bangladesh are not being given, notice. So suddenly today she did rise up to that bait and came up with the beautiful bags supporting Bangladesh.
Okay. No, she did speak about Bangladesh and the attacks on Hindus and Christians in Bangladesh yesterday on the floor of the House. But Lavanya Ballal, Jasmine ji is making a point, and many say this is a valid point, that when it comes to India's foreign policy, when it comes to something as serious as what is happening in Gaza, what is happening in Bangladesh, you have to deal with it with a certain kind of maturity. Was it mature on Priyanka Gandhi's part to carry these bags to draw attention and start a conversation? I mean, the BJP, as Jasmine ji is not saying it, but the BJP officially in a press conference they held yesterday is also calling it the bag of appeasement, that you want to appease to the Muslims and the Christians here in India, which is why you are carrying these Palestinian bags to Parliament.
Good evening, Shreya. It's good to be back on your show. First of all, I would like to remind everybody, I think the humble tote bag has, caught the storm or the eye of the storm right now in India. It reminds me of how the humble khadi antagonized the British. It was a form of resistance against the colonial rule. And I think the tote bag right now is doing the same job as khadi did pre-1947. And when people say it is very immature of her, I would like to remind people she is not going against the Indian foreign policies, and every Indian has a right to speak up, be she an MP or a normal citizen like me. Every one of us have a right to carry bags like that, or posters like that, or t-shirts like that, or clothes like that. And it is very presumptuous of the BJP to assume that she would not be carrying a bag on behalf of Bangladesh. She carried a bag on behalf of the issue that we have been speaking of, the Modi and the Adani, combination first day. And then she carried a bag about Palestine, and today she's carrying a bag about Bangladesh. It was very, very presumptuous of the BJP to assume that she will not be carrying a bag or speaking up on behalf of Bangladesh. The BJP willfully continuously keeps claiming she didn't speak about Bangladesh. But yesterday, she has spoken up about Bangladesh. She's demanding that Indian government intervene and help the minorities in Bangladesh. So it is the BJP being very, very insecure. But I would like to remind everybody, I think her humble tote bags are doing the job of humble khadi once again in India.
Okay, it's good to see freshness in Parliament, and it's good to see these honestly pictures come out, Neerja Chowdhury ji. But I want to ask the two journalists on the panel what exactly Priyanka Gandhi is trying to do here. Neerja Chowdhury, what's your analysis?
Look, it is true that a picture speaks much more than, as it is often said, thousands and millions of words. And this time it seems the bags have spoken more than possibly her speech might have done had she spoken on the subject in the House, which she might still do. And you and I are discussing it, many others are discussing it. In fact, whoever you meet, I've met in the last 24 hours, is discussing it. So she's made her point. She also knows how to stay in the news. She thinks politically on her feet. And for the last several days, she's been in the news every day with one thing or another. And that shows a certain political skill of communication. So as far as the bag goes, the Palestinian bag, she says she has a right to wear whatever she wants to, of course. And that there she is making a point to the women of India. Everybody has a right to wear what they want. We will not be dictated to in a patriarchal circle. But I would say here, and this question came to my mind, Priyanka Gandhi is not an ordinary citizen. Priyanka Gandhi is also not an ordinary Congress MP. She's, of course, the MP from Wayanad. She's also the General Secretary of the Grand Old Party. But she's more than that by virtue of belonging to the Nehru-Gandhi family, which enjoys a certain position in the Congress setup in terms of influencing decision-making. So the question that came to my mind, of course, she has spoken in the last days about the Palestinian question, and this question that, you talk about 17,000 children killed. And what is happening in Gaza, the genocide, those pictures of horror. In the world of 2024 and 25, we should not allow such a thing to continue in the world. That goes without saying. And she has spoken about it, and one would sympathize with that position. Her party has, over the years, been a traditional supporter of Palestine. Her grandmother, Indira Gandhi, had a very close relationship with Yasser Arafat. And so, is Priyanka Gandhi nudging her party to take a more active position vis-a-vis Palestine than it has done so far? Is Priyanka Gandhi nudging the government in a very subtle way to do more than what it has been doing? These are questions that come to my mind. Did she consult her party about this? Because it has ramifications for foreign policy. It has ramifications for position that her party takes. I don't know the answers to this. But certainly, they say na Hindi mein surkhiyon mein. She has remained surkhiyon mein at the political level. And the country will watch her very carefully in the weeks and months to come.
Dr. Uday, if it comes to being in the headlines, it's mission accomplished for Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. She's a new parliamentarian. She's not an ordinary parliamentarian, but she's a new parliamentarian. And she's managed to do what many, in fact, 99% parliamentarians don't manage to do even in their first 2 years. So in that sense, she's getting attention. And if you're getting pictured, and if those pictures are making it to the headlines, mission accomplished.
Shreya ji, first let me compliment you. Having inspired by this, what happened yesterday and today, you are not wearing any handbag in the studio to get headlines, to get TRPs.
But I did wear a sari, which I was told looked like a Palestinian flag, and I got much flagged for it.
Because you are not from the dynasty, and you are not supported by the people, those who support dynastical rule after 75 years. This was nothing else but optics. Now, if we are going to reduce our democracy to the discussion of the handbags and T-shirts being worn Delhi ki sardiyon mein, then good luck to the democracy of this country. This is nothing else. Such sensitive issues cannot be handled by handbags. This is not a handbag. This is a shoulder with hand bomb that need to be understood, and that what rightly you have given the title of the show as Bagawat. Suppose inspired by this, if you were wearing, if I have to go by some other comments made earlier, that she has made a point, then why not you are wearing a handbag today to get TRP over other competitive channels? This is not the way the democracy can be discussed. These are all important issues. These are all sensitive issues. These are the international ramifications that need to be discussed on the floor of the House and otherwise with the Parliament and the ruling party. This is not the way to get the headlines. There are better ways to get the headlines. I'm sure she will. But today, she has fallen from the grace by this. Nobody has objected to what she wears. But why she wears, that is to be discussed. What is the objective? That is to be discussed. If she was so much concerned about the atrocities on the minorities, then why oppose CAA? Why create the whole tamasha otherwise? If Palestine is the issue, please remember, Israel is the only country which supported in 1971 to us. It was Narasimha Rao in 1991 who started the embassy. Had there been any other prime minister from that party, do you think he would have had guts to start the embassy? Please understand the international ramifications of this.
But Dr. Uday, has Priyanka Gandhi done anything which is seen to be opposing India's official foreign policy? No.
Please understand
India's
this.
official stand on Gaza is very clear. They are calling it a humanitarian crisis.
Please understand
in Bangladesh,
this.
India's official stand is very clear. We have requested the Bangladeshi authorities to stop the atrocities and the killings of Hindus and Christians. Where is she contradicting India's foreign policy? Why is the BJP saying they are not calling her anti-national, but they are saying she's not a patriot?
By trivializing it, as is said earlier on this channel itself in the debate, that she has grabbed the headlines. In your introductory remarks, you said so. Is the 75-year dynasty who used to control us before the independence and after the independence is slated and begging for such kind of headline grabbing? I'm sorry. The time has come to wind up this kind of headline mongering, headline grabbing mentalities. She can have a certainly good debate that will make us more statesman politician.
Lavanya Ballal, would you want to respond to that? Debate in Parliament, why the natak, essentially is what Dr. Uday is saying.
The question is for me, Shreya? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yes, Lavanya, you're the Congress spokesperson here. You'll have to answer that question.
Yes, yeah.
He's calling it trivializing a serious issue. He's calling it a tamasha.
Dr. Uday sounded like a patriarch who is very upset about what women are wearing. He sounded exactly like how the British would have sounded 80 years ago before independence when they saw Indians wearing khadi. I rest my case because I don't need to answer more. And he said, why does she have to wear it? Who are men to question women what they are wearing or why they are wearing what they are wearing? How is it trivializing the issue of Palestine? Because as of 5th December, when the question was raised in Rajya Sabha for what is India's stand on Palestine, the government's answer was India supports the establishment of independent state of Palestine, which is sovereign on its own, right? And it continues into paragraphs. So where is she disagreeing with the government? Why is it that, when Indians wore khadi, the British were terribly upset? It sounds the same right now.
No, Lavanya, all like that, the British and khadi is fine, Lavanya. My point is why reduce this argument or the criticism to, oh, they are attacking me and questioning my bag because I'm a woman? Why make this a gender issue? It's a political issue.
Of course it is.
Why bring in patriarchy and say this is typical patriarchy? Because men will tell you what to wear. They are not telling her what to wear. No one's telling her what to wear. What has come into question is the Palestine bag, which, by the way, is a very good-looking bag.
If you listen to Mr. Yogi Adityanath's statements, he is making a statement saying, oh, there is a Congress MP who is walking around with a bag supporting Palestine and all of that stuff. Why is it the BJP is upset about a bag? We didn't make it about the bag. It is a BJP which is talking about the bag. She just wore a tote bag to the Lok Sabha. Why is the BJP making an issue out of it? She just wore a bag. Leave it at that.
Jasmine,
why are you focusing on what is she wearing?
Jasmine, good point.
Focus on what is she talking.
Good point, Jasmine. The point is, she just wore a bag, is what Lavanya is saying. Whether it's Palestine or Bangladesh, हमने थोड़ी ना कुछ किया. ये तो बीजेपी ने बात का बतंगड़ बनाया.
Shreya, she, with due respect, is taking advantage as first she becomes a parliamentarian, then she falls back on her woman baggage and says, oh, these men are patriarchal and they're telling me what to wear. This is not an ordinary tote bag. It says Palestine on it. She's welcome to wear that bag, but then she should have the gumption to agree that why she's wearing the bag. The idea is that why is she wearing that bag? She is a member of parliament. She's no ordinary woman who is walking into the parliament. The person It is the individual who is wearing, she's a general secretary of the party, and like the gentleman said, she falls on a legacy of a Gandhi name. She has to be more mature. She has to respect the foreign policy of this nation.
But what
That's
is
it.
immature
And
about wearing your heart on your
nobody's making
sleeve?
a comment. Nobody's making a
Jasmine ji.
comment on her clothes. She's very well-dressed woman. I admire her sense of clothing. But I am objecting to what was
But
written
how
on
is
her
it
tote bag.
immaturity to wear your heart on your sleeve?
It is, she's a member of
Where is
parliament.
the
You see,
immaturity
she's
in
not an
wearing your
ordinary-
heart
she's-
on your sleeve?
You can't do that when you're a member of parliament. You're a politician. There are certain, you're a senior journalist. You have a certain guideline which you follow, which you do.
But
And it's the nature of your work.
Okay. My point is, if she's saying that the killing of 17,000 children is wrong in Gaza, if she's saying that the killing of 45,000 civilians is wrong in Gaza, it's actually the right stand to take. As I said, it's the stand India's taken. But Neerja Chowdhury ji, in conclusion, I want to ask you how you think Priyanka Gandhi has done in Parliament so far. By the looks of it, by the optics of it, pretty good, I would say.
Yes, I think she's done well. Even in her speech on the Constitution, she took on the government, which as an opposition member she was expected to do, particularly on an issue like the Constitution, which they have been flagging. She made her points very sharply, but she was not personal. She was cool and not personal about anybody. So she did well. Her answer to Narendra Modi's speech also was when she said, with a sense of humor that it reminded her of a double period of maths, and she dismissed it that way. And also zero tolerance about corruption. She said, let them at least have a discussion on Adani. So again, very sharply worded. So as I said, and then of course these bags that have come, I would say make one point here that I agree this is not about attire. This is a political message, and particularly coming from somebody like her.
Absolutely.
And it is true that the government is doing a tightrope walk in a very difficult situation. In West Asia, which has linkages with Syria, Lebanon, it has linkages, our relationships with China, Russia, US, it has the whole gamut of relationships. Therefore, my point is she making a political point to her own party, to the government, that they must go beyond the stand they have taken? That is the question mark to me. So it is not to be taken in a trivial way.
Okay.
That is about dress, and no matter how she wants, she can dress that way. So, but the country, as I said, will watch her in the coming days because she has this ability to think on her feet politically.
Okay, we'll leave it there, Neerja. Thank you very much. Dr. Uday, thank you very much for joining us as well. Lavanya Ballal, good to have you on the show. And Jasmine Sandhawalia, thank you very much as well. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. Up next is One Nation, One Election good or bad for India? That debate coming up. Do stay with us.